The reason we know each other is because we worked together at KATC from 2019 to 2021, which was just the two craziest years of all time. You worked at KATC a lot longer than I did, though. You were there for
19 years.
19 years. Then, in stunning fashion, you left to go to a direct competitor. Why?
There were some things that came up on the corporate level, some changes that the corporation was making that affected KATC and stations across the country. They were changing their model, and their model didn't directly include what we were doing as our duties there. And so there were lots of meetings and there were lots of conversations, and they gave us some options. And so we had decisions to make at that point. And so we did. You know, I said in my goodbye video that, not even my goodbye video, it was the announcement that we were leaving, but, and I still stand on it. Like, I am not mad at anybody at 1103 Eras Landry. That's the address at KATC. And I don't think they're mad at me. In life, you have to make decisions sometime. And so I needed to figure out what was best for myself and my sons. And I did. You know, I didn't know what that would look like. There were moments where the uncertainty was unimaginable. You know, after you've done something in a space for 2 decades, practically, to think about no longer being there. I grew up in that building. I lived my adult life in that space. And I interned there in college. I became a reporter there. And so it was really hard to think about no longer driving up every day, hitting that gate code, knowing that building backwards and forwards, and more than anything, being with the people that I had worked with, in some cases for a very long time. So it was tough. It really was tough, but necessary. I recognized that it was a period of mourning to some degree. And I realized that what I was mourning was no longer the place that I once knew. And so that made it a little easier. You know, those changes were making it a new space. And I get it. Look, you know, I understand business is business. And unfortunately, there was an opportunity for us, which was also a wonderful thing, because often, you know, you work with someone for so long, and then this type of thing happens, and you don't necessarily get to go together to somewhere else. And Jim and I were given an opportunity, not only as individuals, but as a team. And it worked out, and it's worked out for the better. And we were, you know, you go to a new job and you're unsure and you're unaware, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. But our time there feels good. It feels like, okay, we might not have known what was to come over some time when we were dealing with all the unknowns last summer, but it worked itself out, and it worked itself out, you know, in a beautiful way. We were able to stay together. Neither one of us wanted to leave Acadiana. We did not want to leave, but we thought we might have. We might have had to, even if it wasn't for a job in news, or even, you know, just, we may have had to go. We may have had to seek opportunities elsewhere. And those plans and those ideas and those questions that we had just were able to fade away. And News 15 has proven to be a good, really good move. They are definitely, we are Acadiana focused, locally focused. And I think that's what people want when you watch local news, right? The word local is there for a reason. And it's really been a good meshing. You know, we walk in and, you know, I have 19 years experience, and Jim has, you know, his 15 years of experience, and you have to learn a new lay of the land. You know, you're learning a new landscape. But yet you have things that you carried with you into that landscape that you could be beneficial. And so we've been figuring that out, and it's meshed really, really well. Their style and ours, things that they do differently than how we were accustomed to. And it really has really worked. People, oh, it's great, but it really is good. Our coworkers are wonderful. We have a good time in our newsroom. We get down to business, but we also are able to step away from the business and who wants to work in an environment where it isn't pleasant and it isn't joyful, and especially in this line of work, you need to laugh it off, and you need to be jolly about something, and so we definitely have that. It's a warm place to be in, and I'm hoping, and our hope is that habits are hard to break. We've asked people to make a switch, and this community has stunned us from the beginning. From the moment we said we're leaving Channel 3, the response and the support has been far more than we ever imagined. The news business, not everybody loves it. And we just didn't know. We didn't know what it would be like to say, hey, we're leaving here. Come follow us here. But Acadiana has showed up and showed out for us. And it's very humbling. And we're determined, if for no other reason, to still be who we are, who people knew us to be somewhere else, and do a good job at what we do every day. Because it matters. It matters to someone. We may not be talking about something in your town that particular day, but the town we are talking about and reporting on matters to someone. And so at the end of the day, I hope that people at home still see that we're here, we're invested, and we care about what happens here.
The way that your old station is shifting the model that they're following, what does that mean for the news industry? So like the average person may look at what has happened to you and be like, why would they get rid of this amazing talent who is leading the charge?
Right.
Why change that format?
Well, I can't speak for them, but I can say that in that time period, I had a conversation with someone who's in the business and has worked in markets all over the country, someone who I trust, and I asked the question, like, is this what's coming? We know the world is changing. We know that technology is changing. AI is a thing. And could an AI image replace me one day? Sure. And will this be the model? Who knows? Right now, it is being tried, and maybe it'll stick. Maybe companies across this country will say, "Oh, that works." We won't know for some time. But what I will say is, people, and especially here, in our meetings, there were discussions of no other market is like us, and people talk about the big city versus small towns and those kinds of things. And, we get it. You can do a lot with technology that you couldn't do when I started years ago. And so you can send a person out. You don't even have to send a person. Send the camera, get the info from wherever, bring it back. But I still think human connection matters. And I think people here have made that known. And not that there aren't humans working under that new model, because they are human beings. They are everyday people who are trying to do a job and do a good job. But I think what we noticed and what we saw during our transition is it makes a difference for viewers to have someone there to welcome them into the newscast, to carry them through it, and then to say thank you for watching and wish them well in the rest of their day and the rest of their evening, or until you watch us again. And so could that become a model? Very well could become a model over time, that we're seeing less of the human connection there and more of getting the job done. It very well could. I don't think it'll happen tomorrow. At least I hope not. I hope I have a little more time. But people have made it known, or are making it known, I should say, that it's who we are is who we are here. And, Acadiana is a beautiful place. And the news business, I tell reporters coming in and out of here that the news business is the same no matter the size market, right? What happens in newsrooms in little bitty, market 200 happens in newsrooms in markets 10, top 10. But Acadiana is our own place, and our people are like no others in the world, and we want that. We thrive off of connection. And yes, it's a television screen. I look into a camera, so I'm not sitting in front of you every day, but through the lenses and through the screen, I think people recognize that whether you're seeing me that way or you see me at the grocery store, you're going to get the same person and the same interaction. And especially in times of tragedy, you just want to feel like somebody cares. And I think those are the moments that will resonate and stick with folks. So could we see a model like we're seeing? Possibly. I don't think it'll be anytime soon. And I still think at the end of the day, people want someone, who they at least think is invested in them and what's happening.
Have you ever thought about walking away from the news desk?
Oh, yeah. I have, especially a few months ago. I just thought maybe this is my time. Maybe it was time for me to go. I've wondered if this is, you live a life and you do things for however long, and you think, is this what I am here for? Is this it? So yeah, I've had those thoughts and wondered, is this what else? Okay, what else am I supposed to do? Or is this it? And I really thought that was what was going to happen, that I was not necessarily, I knew leaving Acadiana might have had to happen, but I thought, okay, well, maybe this is just my time to leave news. Like, okay, I hear you. Changes are coming. Let me prepare myself. This might just be my time to leave news and do something else. I'm 43 years old, and I thought, okay, well, time for my life to just go in a new direction. And then it didn't. It happened in a new space, but not in a new direction. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe this is what I am supposed to be doing. Totally embracive of that. So yeah, I have thought, and my career has been a very beautiful one. It has been, I've experienced a lot that I probably would have never had if I had not worked in news. I've gone to places that I maybe would have never visited if it weren't connected to a story. I've learned about this place we live far more. You take it for granted when you live here. Oh yeah, I know where New Iberia is. Oh, I know what they do there. I know. But if you don't go and immerse yourself in it, do you ever really know? And so this job has afforded me lots of experiences and put me in positions, in situations and places that I probably would have never gone otherwise. And so that in itself has made it worth it. But I have had moments where, my schedule's different and I'm raising 2 children, and is it best if I work, closer to their school time? And yeah, maybe, but that's not our life. This is our life. It's what we know. When my schedule changed a few months ago and I was working more traditional hours, like a 9 to 5, my kids were like, what are you still doing here? You're home every night. They were not used to that at all. It's not the life they've known. They've known that I'm around in the morning. I can, take them to the doctor if somebody's sick, and then mommy goes to work. I come home on my break. I eat dinner with them. We have story time, bedtime. We say prayers together. Mommy has to go back to work, and they go to sleep. And every night, before and I tell them I'll see you again before you see me, because I go in every night into each of their rooms and see them when I get home. And so I have thought about it. I have wondered, but my life is telling me that, no, you're good. This is good. Being in a new space has been reinvigorating. I'm doing the same thing, but there's a freshness about it now. And it's really, really felt good. Like, I haven't been as energized to walk into a newsroom and do this, 5 days a week in a very long time. And it really feels good. So I'm not questioning why the things that went on. I recognize that maybe it's just what needed to happen. And it has. And in the time, you don't often see the clear sky because the clouds are so dark that are right in front of you. And it was dark clouds and thunderstorms at one point a few months ago. But things have cleared now. And once you get through the storm, what you see on the other side, and that has just been a testament to life, right? Like, it's hard in this moment, but just get through it, like one step in front of the other until you get to that clear sky on the other side.